What up, what up? It's your best friend Blake, and this is the Up North Sportscast. I'm here with my cousin C. Loke. He was a beautiful child, and he's grown into, he's grown. Uh, hey, I'll tell you what. You're going to want to find us on social. That's at TUN Sportscast, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Up North Sportscast on YouTube. Follow us, man. Go follow us so you can catch our videos when we're on. We usually do late night shows on Sunday evening, but we're doing an early morning Monday thing for the holiday weekend. You know what I'm saying? About 1:15 a.m. here in the Midwest. So, we're going to get it in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Talking NBA, some of the fan issues that have been going on, NBA playoffs, and some of the younger stars that are really taking over the league, and we like to see that. Then we got a little bit of NFL. We're talking about the rookie QBs and when they're going to be starting in the league this year. We will touch on some Formula One, and then we're going to have a little fun talk favorite game time food. So let's get it in. Get it in.
And let's get a party going on.
Yeah. First up, fans gone wild. So last week we saw quite a few fans getting kicked out of games. That includes one fan who dumped popcorn on Russell Westbrook, one spitting on Trae Young, and then a fan this week was kicked out, or today, for throwing a water bottle at Kyrie Irving. Is that correct?
Yeah. Was it 1:15 now? A couple hours ago. After the game, throwing a water bottle. I was told it was an empty water bottle. Tossing that at Kyrie Irving out in Boston, where he's very well loved now. So,
yeah. And so, with these fans being thrown out of the game, are they receiving their final punishments yet? Is that all that's happening? Is they're getting kicked out, or are they reviewing it further for longer bans? Obviously, probably lifetime. I don't know how you let a fan like that back in.
Well, so what I've been hearing is they're getting, I think there's another one you didn't mention, a group of fans were yelling some racial comments to Ja Morant's family at the Memphis Grizzlies game. Not going to get into what was said, but very, very disrespectful. So that was another one. All three of those first ones happened on the same day. Kyrie's happened tonight. But so for those first three that I've heard of, none of them were season ticket holders, so they couldn't pinpoint a name. But supposedly they were getting, trying to get the air quotes in here, indefinite bans. Not lifetime bans, they say indefinite. How long do those really mean? I don't know. How can they really even tell who those people are, other from maybe finding a camera clip? There isn't that much footage on the fans other when these incidents happen. I would hope, there's a way for them to be able to tell other than putting up a wanted poster, at the gates saying, this guy, he's not allowed here ever again. Who's to say, this guy or girl, I'm pretty sure they've all been men, and that's usually the case. Can't show up, with a fake mustache, a fake beard, whatever, and, get back into a game. But I just think it's a really, really bad look on us as the people right now. We've been waiting and dying. I haven't been to a game yet since the COVID-19 stuff took place. There's limited access and limited tickets being sold to a lot of these venues: football, basketball, hockey, even concerts, not even sports related, but if you're gonna get let in through the door, man, don't why act a fool like that? Like, why is it? I don't get why we're now getting let in through the door, and now we are acting worse than we ever did before. And specifically, gonna get into like the Trey Young incident. You know, like they spit on him, and he didn't even notice
Disgusting.
it. But they spit on him, man. They spit on his back in New York City. And I get there were some they had started a group chant, you know, F you Trey Young, which if I'm Trey Young, I think that's awesome. I'm all hyped about it. But getting spit on, man, like we're now in a very touchy feely age and just society with COVID-19 and that stuff, and we're gonna get into spitting on somebody. Um, we're just now finally getting into the era of where we can actually take our masks off and go to these events, social events, and enjoy them. And once we're allowed to enjoy them, we're gonna have fans spitting on people. Grow up, dude. Knock it off. Like, this is a privilege to go and watch our top athletes and performers in the world. I know you got to pay for these tickets, but you're not paying to spit on people. Knock it off. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, I can't agree more.
It's,
I mean, if anybody, I mean, even the throwing of a water bottle and things like that. I mean, could you imagine somebody coming into some day job? You do that at McDonald's and things like that. I mean, that's you're getting kicked out, and they may even call the cops on you if you're throwing, people throwing drinks back through the windows and stuff. It's disgusting, man. Especially the spitting and the racial name calling. I
cool person. Go on.
I I think you bring up a great point where it'd be difficult to go ahead with the lifetime bans, but I know they've applied them before, and like you said, indefinite bans. But I think it at least sends the right message that it's not going to be tolerated. So
Yeah. I'm all for if they can find out who these people are. Um, I'm all for the lifetime ban, man. Is it really that hard to not spit on somebody? Like,
yeah,
geez, come on, man. And to touch on like the John Morant one, uh, man, think of yourself as an athlete when you were younger. John Morant's been in the league. This is now his second year, and some of these people come from harder and tougher backgrounds, and you fight and claw your way, man, to get there. You need to go pro, and then you get your payday, you know, and maybe you could, you know, in high school, middle school, whatever, you know, your family could go to the games and stuff, but when you go pro, they got to pay a price to go see you. Uh, and you were able to finally afford that ticket, you know, to pay for your mom or your father. Some people don't even have that privilege to have their parents come to a game and then a playoff game, and that's how
yeah,
they're going to get treated. How do you even know these are his parents? I just think it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, you know, that's a moment you would want to cherish your whole entire life as your mom and dad, or any of your homeboys, your homegirl, whatever, you know, coming to your first playoff game and they get treated like that, or your first game and you get spit on. They're paying to come see you. Why? That's pretty sure that's not written in your job description as a professional athlete to have to endure being spit on. This isn't 1940. This isn't 1930. I just think it's disgusting. It's such a bad look on fans. I feel like we should almost get everything taken away from us again. Like it was just taken away from us for safety protocols, and now we're just gonna start acting a fool even worse than ever before. It's embarrassing. It's
yeah,
embarrassing. These some of these tickets are limited to people that have been like lifetime ticket holders, season ticket holders. Limited to I know last year in the NFL, a lot of the games that people could go to were um, only first responders or whatever.
hmm
And I'm not saying any first responders or whatever did this, and that, but whoever you are going to these games, knock it off. This is a privilege. You're paying to watch them play, not treat them like dirt. You don't like them? Absolutely. Get out there and boo them. You're a fan. You get to be a fan. You don't, I can't think of the word right now, but you don't get to be absolutely delusional and belligerent. Uh, Knock it off, man. It's
Agreed.
annoying. I don't like it at all.
Definitely. All right. We're going to stay with the NBA here. We're talking NBA playoffs. We're just going to kind of run through the series so far, where you think they're headed. We know where Milwaukee's headed. All right. But we are going to start with the 76ers and Washington. 76ers are up 3-0 on Washington. What are you seeing there?
I feel like this one's probably going to end in the gentleman's sweep. And if you don't know what the gentleman's sweep is to our fans, uh, this is the perfect example. They always call it the 4-1. One team wins 4, one wins 1. I feel like a true gentleman's sweep is when you go up 3-0. That fourth game is going to be in the opposing team's home stadium. You kind of brush it off, whatever, kind of take a break. So I think Philly might drop this next one to Washington, and then they'll go back to Philly and clean it up 4-1. Washington played really good game 1, and I was a little skeptical of Philly in that for the rest of the series, but it's 3-0 now. It's done. 1-8. I mean, that's cool. Westbrook has not played very well in that series.
Definitely.
But they've been fighting.
And next up, we got Milwaukee sweeping the Heat.
I think this is really huge mentally for Milwaukee. Obviously, the last 2 years, Milwaukee's came up short. Specifically speaking on last year, they lost to Miami, who Miami had their number in the regular season, and Miami ended up going to the NBA Finals. They came up short, but they played out of their mind. I feel like this is really huge for Milwaukee mentally, like I said, to get the Heat off their back. A team that kind of had their number, just knew how to handle the Heat. And to bounce back, I think this is going to be really huge for Milwaukee going forward. A lot of momentum. They're going to get some rest, which is huge. You get that sweep going in any playoff series, and your next opposing teammate has got to go 6 games deep. You're talking an extra 3-4 days of rest. And other than, this has been a shortened season. They played like maybe 10 games less, but to get that extra rest, big. It's very big. I look forward to big things for Milwaukee coming forward.
Definitely. So, and I just got the bracket out here. So the 76ers will play the winners of the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks, and that's where we're headed next. The Bucks will play the winner of the Nets and Celtics. So the New York Knicks versus the Hawks. The Hawks are up 3-1 over the Knicks. How you feeling on that one?
A little surprised, to be honest. Both teams finished with the same record in the regular season. Knicks had the tiebreaker, so they had the home court. To kind of not get back in that first segment, but the fans, a little rowdy out in New York. That's where the first initial spit incident happened. But when I was watching game 2, Knicks Hawks, man, that was electric. It was. You could see the weight in those fans. You could see the energy, man. They didn't even have a packed house, and it felt like a packed house. It's just great, again, to see fans back in the stadium. But let's talk about Trae Young. If we want to go back, I'll get into Trae Young later in the NBA youth movement. But the Hawks going up now 3-1. Trae Young is playing like a leader. He it's been said before. People kind of starting now to compare him to Steph Curry. He's just got that baby face.
Big shooter, small shooter, I
Big
should say.
shooter, big shooter. Yeah, and big small shooter. I don't know whatever oxymoron you want to come up with. I mean, this guy can pull from anywhere, and but he just doesn't look like a basketball player. Um, it's been a really fun series to watch. This is like really one I was really excited about to see the Knicks back in it, to see a Tom Thibodeau team always plays so hard, offense and defensive. But you can definitely tell there is a difference between regular season basketball and postseason basketball. The Knicks are a very ISO related team. Give it to Randall. Big fan of Randall. Give it to Julius. Give it to Derrick Rose, which is great again to see him in the playoffs and playing his heart out again, man. It's like it's wild. It's very beautiful. But kind of impressed, honestly. See the Hawks up in that series 3-1 as the road dogs. I really didn't see that coming, especially going to New York. Very like this, and this city's been waiting for that. They're going in there, they're getting business done. Definitely. And the world's got to wake up and realize who Trae Young is, and this dude's coming.
Yeah, I was kind of. I wasn't sure if Trae Young was going to quite get to this level, and there's no signs that he won't be able to sustain this level and maybe continue to improve. So I had some doubts about Trae Young, but looking good. So if they win the series, I shouldn't say we're assuming. You're predicting the 76ers will win their series. Are you going with the Hawks to win?
It's 3-1 at this point. I hope that'd be cool if it goes 7, but 3-1's hard to come back from. So, and Trae and the Hawks are looking really good. Atlanta needs this too. We talk about like I was ranting on New York and how raucous it's been and how long they've been waiting, but Atlanta's been waiting too, and it's not just basketball. They're still hungover from the Falcons Super Bowl. The Braves last year were up 3-1 on the Dodgers and NLCS. They hung that one up too.
Oh my god!
I kind of feel for Atlanta fans, so there's a part of me I'm really excited about this entire series. I'm going to cheer for whoever wins that series. So it'll be cool for Atlanta too. It really would.
Definitely, absolutely. Next up, we got the Nets 3-1 over the Celtics.
I feel like the Celtics are down Jaylen Brown. Even if he was there, I kind of feel this star-powered Nets team, we all felt like this was coming. I feel like they gave up that first game in Boston. That went 2-1. Now it's 3-1. They're going to go back to not New Jersey. This is 10 years ago. I'm thinking about the New Jersey Nets. They're going to go back to Brooklyn, and they're going to clean it up. You got Katie, you got Harden, Kyrie. It's too much. Seems way better than Boston.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's a whole lot else to really say in this matchup. If something else would have happened, weird, but team's loaded, man.
Definitely. So they should be meeting up with the Bucks in the second round, Nets versus Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at 76ers against the Hawks is what we're thinking.
Yep.
Moving on over to the West. Utah is up 2-1 over the Grizzlies.
Started off game 1 with a little bit of a shocker. 8 Grizzlies, the dethroners of Chef Curry in that play-in game, went out there game 1 right in the heart of Utah. Ja Morant went out there and took it out game 1. But game one, we didn't have no Donovan Mitchell. He's been missing for 40 days. I want to say it was a shoulder injury. Not 100% sure on the specifics of the injury, but he did come back game two. They're the number one seed for a reason. I feel that first game that Memphis won was hard earned and wasn't a given. If this series ends up 4-1, I'm still, for me, impressed by Memphis. But Utah's a very sneaky, complete team. And they're very boring, and they don't get the love they deserve. It was kind of the same when you go back to the Stockton, Malone, and Mark Eaton. I'm going to get into that for 20 seconds here. Mark Eaton was the guy I also played there. Just died. It was today or yesterday. Rest in peace, Mark. Two-time Defensive Player of the Year. You just don't know anything about Utah. It's just a very throw it under the rug. It's Utah type of thing, you know. But they're the number one seed for a reason.
Small market.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So, are you looking at Utah to take this series then?
Yeah, easily. Like I said, I'm impressed that Memphis got one out of this deal. Maybe they'll pick up another one. They're going back home. They got one more home game, but there's no way Memphis can. They don't have enough. They just don't have enough. And Donovan Mitchell's coming back. Big Spider fan. They're just better than a lot of people think, and they're the number one seed for a reason. So they'll take care of business.
Next up, we got Denver versus Portland. They're tied up 2-2 in the series.
Well, I have a hard time with this one. Denver just really confuses me. They just lost their best player, second best player, and they might have the MVP of the league on their team. Portland just always gets fiery and feisty when the playoffs come around. I don't know what the deal is. That Dame Lillard, that CJ McCollum, Carmelo Anthony still sticking around, getting it done too, by the way. They're going 2-2. Like, this is probably the series people should be watching. I don't know if I can predict who's going to win this one. Denver just keeps. It's like they don't blink an eye when they lose someone, and they lost one of their best players. Do you have a prediction in this one? Like, I honestly don't know where to go with this one. This is the 4-5 matchup. This is a very even matchup.
I'm not the most educated, but I love Dame Lillard.
How can you not?
Like CJ McCollum. They got Melo. Portland.
You going Portland?
Portland and 7.
Yeah, I just feel like regardless, this is going 7, and I'm excited for it. Like, this is NBA needs it, man. This is great playoff basketball. It's really been a great playoff season. All matchups aside, man, it's been great.
Definitely. All right, after Denver, Portland, we got Dallas versus the Los Angeles Clippers. Tied at 2-2. Clippers were down in the series and came back yesterday in that win. So, woo!
This one's got roller coaster written all over it. Let's just say, not very. I'm sure it's been done. But to go back and look at like a stat, or I would love to hear the history on another series that went where the home team lost their first 2 home games and then went on the road in the playoffs and won the next 2 away games. After those first 2 games, I was all sold on Dallas. They've been playing so great. They have no answer for Luka Doncic. The Clippers don't. And then game 3, did the Mavs come out firing. Wow. It was insane.
Wow.
But the Clippers didn't quit. They didn't quit. And I kind of felt, speaking to another friend of mine, I told him the other night, I feel if the Clippers were to come back and win that game 4 and tie it up 2-2, they're getting that home court advantage back. Momentum's going to be back in their favor. I'm going to end up with the Clippers probably finishing out this series and winning. I don't know. I could easily see it going 4-2 and then win the next two. They got that momentum right now. It's sad, but it's been
sad.
I've watched every single game of that series, and it's been fun. Other than tonight's game, a little more lopsided than others, but I'm gonna go with the Clippers by cleaning that one up.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. The Clippers head on, and as you say, the Jazz should be heading on. They will meet in the next round. The Nuggets or the Trailblazers will win. If the winner will face the winner of our next matchup, that's the Phoenix Suns versus the LA Lakers. So we got that tied at 2-2 as well. So we got some good series going on in this one. How you feeling on this game or this series?
I really do. I feel as a fan, hardcore NBA fan, we've really been just blessed in this NBA playoffs. From the beginning, I felt Lakers, especially going in it when I went 2-1. Anthony Davis had that bomb game 1, and he's just been dominant since. But today, AD went down with a groin injury. And typically, groin injuries aren't a day-to-day thing. You're going to it don't just snap back and you're good. I feel that team's got enough firepower to probably end up cleaning up the Suns. Maybe a game 7 going the distance. It gets different trying to win an NBA Finals without Anthony Davis on LeBron James back. I'm still going to put my horses on the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm still going to believe. But it's going to get real scary. Apparently, there's a little bit of skepticism that AD can even play the next game. That one's going back to Phoenix now. It'll be game 5. And, shout out to those young guys in Phoenix. Specifically Booker and Ayton never played a playoff game in their life, and they look like that's not even a thing. They look like they're playoff veterans. I don't know if it's the Chris Paul rub-off thing that's going on, and he's battling a shoulder injury as well. But they look really battle-tested, and they're the 2 seed for a reason, too. So I think this one could end up going 7. I'm still going to go LA.
Smurfalictus reached out, and he was wondering if we think the Lakers are still considered contenders if AD is out for the next few games. So you're saying you think they can get past? Is that assuming that he's back for those games? Do you feel differently if he is out for the next few games?
I think Los Angeles. We've seen LeBron James take Mo Williams, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Larry Hughes, a lot of people that people probably don't even know about to the finals.
With who else, though? Who else were
What do
on
you
those
mean?
teams, though? Name the other people on those teams.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
name
Mo
the other
Williams, Big Z, Delonte West. I mean, that's the same ragtag crew that's almost on the Lakers. Gal Kuzma, who likes to show up when they play teams that suck. I think
You're talking about when he went to the finals or when he won his championships?
we just even went to the finals in his early years in Cleveland. I know that was probably about 10 years ago now.
Okay.
But
I was gonna say he's always had some great players when he wins a championship.
Wins them. If I feel like if he can understand the AD diagnosis that, hey, I gotta win these next 2, and give AD some rest so we can go into either Portland or Denver, who are lower seeds than Phoenix. So it should be a worse team and a better matchup for the Lakers. If he can hold off and get some rest out of him to get him back, it could favor them in the next round, give AD a break, but that's a lot on a player that's played. He's already broken the record for most history of playoff games. The guy's played like 220 something playoff games. That's over and added on. I mean, the guy's like a 16, 17-year vet. Added on now another 2-3 years of just playoff games that don't even show up, in the Olympics. That's a lot.
It
I'll
feels
believe
to
it the day
me,
I see it. What's up?
feels to me like the candle's burning at both ends here. I mean,
Absolutely.
every
And
time you fix a flat, you just get a flat on the other side. It's either Anthony Davis or LeBron, kind of. If you can keep them both. Well, LeBron will never be at 100% ever again.
no,
But if you can keep him as healthy as possible and keep AD on the court and healthy, but that hasn't been the case necessarily. It's going to be interesting. I think if AD's out the next couple games, you think that they are going to beat the Suns?
until LeBron James shows me he can't, then yeah. Like I said, I want to say it was last week when we were talking. He's been in the last 9 out of 10 finals. And the only year he missed was because he was injured and they didn't make the playoffs. So yeah, I do. But also another side note is I feel like there's something going on with LeBron in this series. Like he's still actually really going through some ankle pain because you can even look at the stats. I mean, he's like 19, 7, and 6, which is great stats, but that's not LeBron stats. He hasn't looked as aggressive as you would typically see him in the past. It looks different. So it could totally go different. This could finally be the time that we finally see the tide turn on LeBron, or it's gonna be the same story as Tom Brady. We're like, well, and then all of a sudden the next 2 games we see LeBron put up 48 and 8.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait until you see the downfall. Like, when is it? I don't know, but
Not this year, huh?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll find out. Moving on. We hit up the playoffs, and next we're going to talk about the NBA youth movement. Talking about the young players. Sometimes they do the under 25 lists and things like that. Although in the
Love
NBA,
those.
you can even probably go lower than that now.
Yeah.
Because these guys are coming out and they're making an impact quickly right out of the draft. I'll let you take it away on this one. Who do you want to talk about?
For me, personally, I just want to start off with Luka Doncic. The guy's averaging like 33. I could be wrong, but I know it's over 30. 30 plus and 8 and 8 against the Clippers, was supposedly the best defensive player in the game. And Paul George was a defensive stopper too. And they don't have a whole lot else out on that team in the Mavericks, speaking. This guy's just showing out, and he is not afraid. I mean, he's chirping with everybody on the floor. But as a whole, to get into this whole NBA youth movement topic, starting to see some of these guys like KD, LeBron, Harden ish. And he's still got plenty of years yet too. But these new guys that are coming in, I mean, we are seeing some beautiful basketball. And I feel the NBA is in great hands looking at Doncic, Trae Young, and just speaking on the guys that are in the playoffs, those two, Ja Morant.
Yeah.
There's another guy I'm missing. You can almost throw Giannis in there. Giannis didn't even, what's Giannis, 26, 27?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a new thing that we were just discovering Giannis, but I mean, he's not old.
Right.
there is another player I am missing, and I know we were talking about it in our pre-meeting. In the playoff wise,
Trae Young.
probably I mentioned Trey, but we can also go into the East too. You know, I feel like these guys have been around maybe another year or two. But Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. I mean,
Devin
I feel
Booker.
like yes, that's the guy I'm missing is Devin Booker. The guy this was his first round in the playoffs. I mean, he's sat in how many years playing those terrible Phoenix teams, but still balling out. And all people could say, myself included, was he's putting up stats on a bad team. Cool, I don't care.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell as
insane.
well. And these are just the playoffs teams.
Yeah, you still
get
got
down.
Zion.
Oh, absolutely, man. Zion Williamson.
And my guy, Melo.
Who's your guy?
Gotta have Melo Ball.
Sure, absolutely.
I just love the way he attacks the game, because you got the concerns of his brother's just so much more timid, and he's
Yeah,
coming out to be a
absolutely.
fine player, but I just really like the way LaMelo Ball attacks the game and just gets after it, man. I just like that kind of energy, so
He's
I'm a
got a
pretty big
different
fan of him.
swagger to him, like
That's what I'm
like
saying.
an angst to
Yeah.
him, which is like really fun to watch. Where it's like, dude, I don't care that I'm 19 years old. I can still be one of the best in the league right
Definitely.
now, not
Yeah.
tomorrow, right now.
Definitely. And I see that in Ja Morant too. So,
if Ja Morant did not play in Memphis, more people would know about Ja Morant.
Yeah, and I think they're finding out. I know about him quite a bit, so I'm a little bit slower to the NBA stuff sometimes.
But that's what I love right now. To see Ja in the playoffs. Like,
yeah,
how many series? It's not uncommon, but to see an 8 seed even win one game. Most of the time, the 8 seeds just get swept, done.
definitely.
And they went into Utah, right into their house. They went into Steph Curry's house in that playing game and take over. I mean, and that was on Ja's back. Like, these guys are coming up, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be sad for me one day to see Carmelo, LeBron. I've already seen Kobe go, Wade go, Dirk go, Timmy go, countless other names. But these guys are here, and they're coming, and it's great. I love it. I absolutely love the way. I love the position that the NBA is in for some of these guys. Everybody always wants to talk on the past, but if you were a true fan of the game, you watch. These guys are here, and it's gonna be great. It's in great hands. I just want real NBA fans or people that have been passing up on the NBA to understand that it's in great hands. So watch.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about a lot of the new young players too. Next up, we are moving on to the NFL. We are doing a little something we call Crystal Ball with the NFL rookie QBs. So we're going to be going through each rookie QB, and Chance is going to be using his magnificent psychic abilities to tell us when the quarterbacks are going to start, which week of the year they're going to be starting for their team. So let's get into it here. We're going to start off with the big name, but probably an easy one, right? Let's see what we got. Trevor Lawrence. So he's playing for Jacksonville, and I know Smurfalictus chimed in on one of our first shows, maybe even the first show, I don't know. Appreciate you, Smurfalictus, and we appreciate all our fans, of course. So Trevor Lawrence went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Smurfalictus was saying, do you really want to put him starting right away behind that line? Do you want to give him some more time? More Minshew magic. How are you feeling? When are they going to be starting Trevor Lawrence?
I do going back to Smart for Lick this was episode 1 on the draft grades. Brought up a very valiant and very great question. But this isn't 2002 or whenever Carson Palmer sat the whole year as the number 1 overall draft pick. Your number 1 overall draft pick plays day 1 now. I don't. This is our second time talking on Trevor Lawrence, I want to say, and I don't want to keep it so short that we're just not giving Trevor Lawrence any topic, or we don't know what we're talking about with Trevor Lawrence. But it's Trevor Lawrence. I mean, go play him week 1. I get Minshew's there. That's cool, but is that your long-term answer? Or are you gonna flirt around with that? It's Trevor Lawrence week 1. I feel like we can all agree on this.
Definitely.
Somebody else wants to tell me different, I'd love to entertain it.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Trevor Lawrence can do. I think I'm in the believer category on Trevor Lawrence. I don't think I'm a skeptic. So let's get it in. Next up, Justin Fields with the Bears. QB1 is Andy Dalton, so I guess it's his job to lose, yeah. But that was before the draft, of course. Let's not be ridiculous. We laughed when that came out. We laughed at the Bears hard, and then they turned around and they did this. So I'm not laughing as much because I kind of think that Justin Fields is gonna bring a spark, and they already have a great supporting cast. At least on the defensive side of the ball. Robinson is a pretty dang good receiver. If Fields can get him the ball out there, or if Andy Dalton can get him the ball, might see some good things happen. Tyreek Cohen in the backfield. They still have Cohen, or did he go to the Eagles? Didn't he? Or
they got David Montgomery, and he actually kind of showed up towards the end of the year. They actually finally looked like a decent runner, but yeah. Andy Dalton.
How you feeling on Justin Fields?
On that, I'm going week 1. You look at the coach, you look at the GM. These guys are on your last type of prove it year, and the GM made some pretty significant moves in this draft to get up and get Justin Fields, and I feel it was a great move. We went into this in the past. For Matt Nagy, he's kind of on the same thing too. His last year. If this can't work out, are you really gonna? This is kind of your last prove it or lose it type of thing for Matt Nagy. Are you really gonna just go and say, we want to wait on this guy and waste 4 weeks, and just play Andy Dalton? These guys are gonna go throw Justin Fields out there week 1. Their lives are on the line. If they can go out there and go 2-2 week in the first 4 weeks with Justin Fields, and then maybe it's even better after that, or just show some kind of promise, but they need to showcase Justin Fields. This coaching staff and this general management has to. Their jobs are on the line. So I feel it's going to be Fields week 1. I also feel there's a big chip on, not Fields. Feel there's going to be a big chip on Justin Fields' shoulder that he slid that far in the draft. So I feel this kid's going to be ready to come play. So I feel week 1.
I would tend to agree. And I'm looking forward to Justin Fields playing too, because I think, like I said, he's going to be a spark on that team. Yeah. And I was excited to see Andy Dalton play, and now, I'm not again, I was pretty high on Justin Fields, and then he goes to the Bears. He slides and he goes to the Bears. So, not too happy about that. Next up, Zach Wilson, Jets number 2. How you feeling on that?
Starting week 1. I really can't tell you who the Jets' backup quarterback is. I think Flacco was there. I don't know if he is still there, if that was last year or this year. I'm really confused. But they were going to get rid of Sam Darnold to get up and get this guy. Are they really going to bench him week 1? There's a lot of pressure on Zach Wilson. I get it, but I feel there's questions on maybe that, Justin Fields might not be week 1. But I feel these two between Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are indefinite week 1s.
Definitely. I don't see how he's not starting after all the hype.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how he does. I'm not completely convinced it'll go well. Obviously, he's playing in a tough position out there for the New York Jets. So hopefully it doesn't implode. Trey Lance out there in San Francisco went number 3 instead of Mac Jones.
Who?
What are you thinking for Trey Lance?
I'm going to pick, pardon me, for our viewers, and it's like almost 2 in the morning. Sorry. I'm going to pick week 7. I'm still trying. Always doing. I'm going to go week 7 against the Bears. I feel San Fran wants to groom him in. I think that's the appropriate thing to do. I don't know if he can just step in day 1, and I could very well be proved wrong. But I feel they're going to wait maybe until about week 7. They find out you're 7 games in, so maybe they're 3-4, and we know you're 3-4. There's a lot of talent on this team. Why are we trying this Jimmy thing anymore? Week 7, he plays Chicago Bears. Maybe a decent matchup to throw him against another rookie quarterback.
Nice pick.
And Justin Fields, who we believe should be playing in that game. So,
yeah, I think when you look at Jimmy G, they still feel like he's a competent quarterback, and everybody's been saying it. When he's out there, he's serviceable. It's just, how long is he going to be out there? And if they do start out a little rocky, go 3-4, 4-3, something in that range, I could see them at least feeling the pressure to have to start to move on.
And especially, it's really going to play how Jimmy G plays. I mean, if we see, we've never really seen Jimmy G play that good. He's won games, that's cool, but it's really cool. But
yeah, an upgrade's an upgrade.
Did you win those games?
Yeah.
No.
What? How many? What do you have? 6 throws in a playoff game in the Super Bowl? Something like that? Some wild.
Who's next? Who's next?
Who? Mac Jones.
Who? That's who.
So he's heading out there to New England with Belichick, and he's gonna be fighting Cam Newton for the starting position. So that's gonna be fun. Be nice to see them in an octagon match too. Like,
I was just gonna say, you said fighting. If they are actually physically fighting, I'm gonna go. Mac Jones is not coming out of this one very well.
Yeah. So when are you thinking that the Big Mac is gonna take over Cam Newton's position?
The Big Mac. I'm gonna go week 4. I could easily see this team starting off 0-3, and Bill trying to pull out that Bill type of move. I don't know. On week 4 when they played the Bucks versus Tom Brady, he's just gonna try and slap that on as a win-win for Bill. I kind of see this. Goes 0-3. Tom comes in, beats the Patriots, and then they're just like, we played our brand new rookie quarterback. So, whatever, Tom, have that one. You just beat Mac Jones, this younger kid. Cool. Good for you, Tom. But if they lose, then, you know what? We're on the Mac train. We're on the Mac train. The Mac is back. Mac Jones beat Tom Brady. how much hype they're gonna put into that. Bill's back to being the greatest thing since sliced bread. I feel it's kind of a win-win, so I feel that might be, especially if they start off 0-3, where you're gonna try and display the Mac.
Excellent. I think that might be a little early for Mac Jones. Um, I don't know if you've ever seen what Cam Newton looks like, and if he comes out throwing a little bit better than last year, I think they're to be fine. He had the COVID thing last year too. He
Yep.
played a little bit better before than after, so we'll see how he does, and we'll see when Mac Jones takes over that position. So that'll do it for our crystal ball NFL rookie QBs. I really like the crystal ball. We might have to use your psychic powers more often. Only for good, never evil. That's how we do it here on the Up North Sportscast. So don't forget. Next we're moving on to F1, and we're bringing on Gage.
What's up?
F1, is it the end of an era? Mercedes is struggling in recent races, and that's leaving the door open for Red Bull to take the lead for the first time in a while. We had the strange qualifying in Monaco we'll talk about too a little bit here. But Gage, what is going on with Mercedes, and what's it going to look like moving forward here?
I don't know. Definitely interesting. Yeah, like you said, Red Bull on top of both the driver's standings and the constructor's standings for the first time since 2013, which is pretty nuts. I believe it's the first time Mercedes hasn't been on top of the constructor's standings since like 2018. Really, yeah, like really weird qualifying. We saw Lewis Hamilton qualify 7th, which is pretty outrageous. Saw Charles Leclerc qualify on pole, which is pretty special in his home Grand Prix. Chance, thanks for joining us.
Oh my god!
I was listening.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc, Chance's boy, qualifies pole and then crashes the car on the final lap, which ruins Lewis's hot lap, which might be part of the reason why he qualified 7th. Maybe he was on a fast lap that could have put him ahead, or maybe 2nd. But
Hey, we're having a little trouble with the mic there, bud.
You're better.
Problem solved.
Good to go.
See, I come on and then we just have all sorts of difficulties. Chance leaves, my mic goes.
EP5, baby. Hey, make sure you follow for all this great content. If you don't, you're a
Definitely.
fool. You're a fool.
For sure. Yeah, I mean F1. If you don't follow for F1 alone,
Get
you're a fool.
out.
So yeah, Charles Leclerc qualifies pole in his home Grand Prix, and then crashes on the last lap, ruins a couple hot laps. Some drivers not happy about that, including his teammate. A little interesting confrontation there after the race. Charles went to shake his hand, and Carlos just walked on by. Wasn't having it.
His own
The other
teammate.
Ferrari guy?
The other Ferrari guy. Yeah.
guy?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
Well, Charles was coming around the swimming pool corner and clipped the wall, the barrier there, which is, I mean, it's kind of a notorious corner. Monaco's a tough track, man. It's unforgiving. It's just barriers. Most tracks have a runoff on the edge of the track. This is just a barrier. Clips the barrier and then runs it across. I think it busted his wheel and runs it across and smashes it into the wall. And they almost had it ready before the race. Thought they were going to have it ready. Took it out on track, ran it a few laps, and then they thought it was the gearbox that went, but it was ended up being like the drive shaft or something, so he couldn't start the race. So that sucks for him, but means Max, my boy Max, Super Max, was on pole. So he had clean air in front of him. He ended up taking the win, which puts him ahead of Lewis Hamilton by, I believe, 1 point. Let me look here.
In the total overall standings, Lewis isn't first anymore.
No, he's not first in the driver's standings. It's Max Verstappen by 4 points, actually. And in the constructors' standings, Red Bull is ahead of Mercedes by a whopping 1 point. But it's just, I mean, I say exciting. It's for most people F1 saying F1 is exciting. I mean, they probably have an easier time getting excited over knitting, but it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see someone bringing the heat to Mercedes because I mean, it's just been the same thing pretty much. Lewis P1, Valtteri P2, or whatever. And I forgot to mention the abysmal Mercedes performance. Lewis ended up finishing 7th, I think, and Valtteri
Mm.
qualified second or third, I believe. It would have been second since Charles didn't start, but had a mishap in the pit. They couldn't get one of the nuts off the wheels. It was cross-threaded, and then they machined it off, and he had to call it there in the pit, which is really a shame for him because it was totally out of his control. Nothing the guy did wrong. He's driving good and everything, and he actually looked like a number one driver this weekend. Like he looked like it wasn't just Lewis's team. Like it looked like Valtteri was actually a number one driver this week, but last week, sorry, but
Yeah, and then you end
that's
up
just
getting your nut machined off. It's like,
yeah, man, just unfortunate.
so
So
But yeah,
go ahead, Chance.
this isn't something I know a sport I know a whole lot or know a whole lot about. Just been recently kind of trying to dabble and pick up on it because Gage knows it. It's something he's very passionate about. But I just love sports, man. If you give me bowling, racquetball, I don't care if it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool with me. Uh, so you're talking about this Mercedes, Ferrari type of thing. What makes Mercedes the dog? Why are it? That's the right company, right? The one that's
yeah,
on top all the time.
yeah.
What makes Mercedes so much better than Ferrari? When you think of cars, you think of Ferrari, Lambo, like those are the coolest. What makes Mercedes so much better in the F1 racing industry than
Money, money,
It's all
money.
about the money, man. It all comes down to money, and that's a big reason. I think we might have lost Chance there, but oh no, he's back. But yeah, it all comes down to money. This year now that they recently started putting like a limit on spending. I don't know how it works specifically. I don't think it's like a strict cap, but they put a limit on spending in specific periods, I think. I could be totally wrong on that. I might get roasted on that, but um, they're trying to change it more so it's not just the team with the most money wins the most races because they can do the most research for their cars and stuff. But yeah, it mainly just comes down to money.
That makes sense. And so how do you see the rest of the season playing out? With Red Bull
And
versus.
I don't know. I'll be definitely watching intently. My ideal scenario would be see Max take the driver standings and Red Bull take the constructor standings just to see something different.
Yeah.
But maybe Mercedes. I mean, it's still Mercedes. It's not like we're not going to see Valtteri not finishing races every time and Lewis finishing 7th every time. Maybe we
Right.
do, but very slim chances. I'm sure they'll rebound, and I'm sure they'll still be one of the front two teams. Yeah, go ahead, Chance.
No, go on. I just got one for when you're done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they'll still be one of the front two teams. They'll bounce back. I can't give a direct prediction, really. I can't.
Yeah. It's gonna
I'll
remain
just
close, hopefully.
I'll say super max for the drivers.
Superman.
We'll see on the constructors. Sergio's still in his first year in a new car, and he's adapting well, but
Nice.
still in his first year in a new car, so we'll see.
What you got, C-Loke?
Yeah. So I guess for me, I have a very, very vague understanding of this sport. I'm trying to learn because I'm a worldwide sports fan. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I seen an F1 driver happen to be in the top 5 in the last year of overall, I don't know if you call it winnings, but revenue, earnings. Yes, earnings would be the word. And Lewis Hamilton was in there. Now, I previously talked to you about F1 and how Lewis Hamilton is just kind of the guy who just dominates. Now, is he just dominating because of money? And you kind of were just talking about and in sports, we all know money makes the world go around, and money makes a big difference. We also seen the Dallas Cowboys are like the top earning franchise of all time, just suck. So, sucks to be a Cowboys fan. Anyways, so is this money really playing that big of a role for like a driver like Lewis Hamilton and why he's always on the top, or
I mean, you
is
gotta
he
have
just that
skill
good?
too, right?
Yeah, you don't just money don't make you the best driver, but why is it? Just let me. I just want to hear it. Why is Lewis so good?
I mean, definitely. I mean, obviously Mercedes is the best team for a reason because they have the best car, and they try to put, in their eyes, the best driver for that car that there can be. And I mean, a lot of it comes down to a driver and his ability to adapt to a car because every car is set up differently. They all,
Mm-hmm.
from an outside view, you look at an F1 car and a different F1 car, it's the same car but a different paint job. But there's actually a lot of different stuff that makes the car different and how they handle to the specific person. Now, I mean, I'm still fairly new to the sport myself, so I can't, I don't think Lewis has driven for another team. So it'd be
So it's
interesting to see him. It'd be interesting to see him drive for another team just to see. I mean, we saw last year Lewis had to miss a race. I think it was something COVID related. He had to miss a race, and we saw George Russell come from one of the Williams cars, one of the slowest on the grid, and actually looked really good. And then we saw another. I think it was another disastrous Mercedes pit stop. I think they put Valtteri's tires on George's car, so it was like an automatic 10-second stop go penalty, so it ruined the race. But I mean, yeah, you saw a guy that is normally in the back of the pack because he's in one of the slower cars, one of the companies that doesn't have the same amount of funding, and he was performing arguably just as good as Lewis would.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's a good question. I can't give you a direct answer, but Lewis he's had multiple teammates there, and he's always been the better of the two. So I mean, there's that, but it would be interesting to see him in another car for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess for me, I have two other last questions. One I feel like could be very shortly answered is, uh, maybe specifically speaking on Lewis, is maybe just kind of a product of the system. Obviously, there's talent there, but that system, the Mercedes system, the Mercedes money, that's gotta weigh some weight, though, huh?
I don't think a product of the system really applies in something like this. I think it really does
Okay.
just come down to a personal talent and reaction time, and I don't think. I mean, there's training and stuff that they go through, but that's usually all training done way before they ever get to the F1 level. So
Hmm.
And then I guess I have one last one. I don't know how much longer we're gonna spend on this segment. I could keep going with questions. Um, I'm trying to learn it too. I was always a sponge of learning other sports. I love them. Any kind of sport, man. If it's competitive beanbags, I want to know it. I've seen
Called
it. They have a
cornhole,
Johnson. They,
Chance.
they, they
It's
have
called
it. Yes,
cornhole.
come
it's
on,
Do
called
man.
not,
cornhole,
do
and
not,
it is on
Chance.
it is on ESPN too, and it's also sponsored by Johnsonville Brats, and I have seen it.
I
We are
played
not
it.
sponsored by Johnsonville Brats, by the way.
Shout out. Speaking next segment, we're gonna get into that food.
Ooh,
But to
I'm
end this,
hungry.
feed me. Speak. Anyways, last question I have is who's gonna win this year? Who's gonna take the cup or whatever the fans or it's deemed. I don't know, the
Yeah,
championship. Do you got a prediction?
Blake actually asked me, I think, when you stepped away a little bit ago, but
Okay.
it's hard for me to really pick it this year. If I had to pick with my heart, I'd go with Max just to see something different, and I do like Max Verstappen. Just seems like a great guy. Obviously, don't know anything about him, but outside looking in, he seems great.
Yeah. Cool.
I'd like to see Max Verstappen. Who? Max?
Who?
Max Verstappen?
Ooh, one more
Doesn't
question.
work.
One more question when you're done. Sorry to
Yeah,
cut you
go
off.
ahead. No, please.
Yeah, one more. When's our next race, and what are we looking forward to in the upcoming of the season?
Next race will be next Sunday. And got me off guard here. I actually don't know where the next one is.
But they're I want to say, I mean, like for example, this is America. NASCAR typically races in the United States. These guys travel quite a bit, do they not?
Travel a lot, yeah. I was
Yeah.
actually watching a video the other day about the logistics of F1 and the way that the teams, like the amount of effort and work that goes into packing up an entire, pit crew and all that goes with it, all the tools and the cars, and like flying it to a different country for the next week's race is pretty nuts. Yeah, it's a
Especially
lot of traveling.
especially at a time when I feel like we're just finally being able to travel, where you don't even be able to travel with yourself with a
Right.
carry-on bag that could maybe even carry 2 Snickers.
Yeah.
And now we're moving car. I mean, they're
Yeah.
moving cars. So it's got to be very difficult, I'd imagine.
It's a lot of money is spent moving F1 teams around the
Yeah.
country for sure.
Oh man, getting it in with the F1, I love it. um, where was the next race? Did you get that?
It is Baku City.
Where is that?
Right,
Man,
help us out.
look like a terrible F1 fan right now.
Hey,
I look like a terrible history major that I have no idea what the heck that city is.
I've been there and I still don't know. I don't know.
Moving on.
All right. Next up, we got Chow Down and Distance. We are talking about favorite game day foods. Feed me, feed me. I love food so much. Been eating out a lot lately. Um, and so I picked this one because I just want to talk about food. So, Chance, why don't you start us out? Um, And I'm just gonna leave this open if you want to talk about certain seasons, if you want to talk about when you go to games, tailgates, restaurants, if you want to talk about the stuff you eat when you're watching games at home. I'm down for whatever. I know you sent me some stuff already, Chance.
Oh, I could really go over with this. I feel everybody's gonna be different. Um, I feel maybe the last 2 years, when it specifically comes to football. Me and the other guy in this podcast, not you, but the one to the other right, kind of just always had a Sunday tradition. We'd go play basketball. Got that one right over there. I'm turning around. Okay. I get a little confused when it comes to these camera angles. But we kind of had a Sunday tradition, man. It's not my favorite specific food. Love the tradition, but Sunday, sit down, watch Packer game, and we eat a pizza. We just eat a pizza. If it's a frozen pizza, we bring one in, order it, whatever. It's just a pizza. Very casual. Keep it clean cut. Easy to do. Throw it in the oven, or have some other person throw it in the oven for you and pick it up. It's pizza. Personally, for me though, my favorite game day food when I'm at home or with others is gonna be wings, man. Whether it's going to B-dubs to watch the fights, UFC fights, big UFC fan. Any type of sporting event, man. I love wings, 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 wings. Um, Maybe it's specifically now going into like tailgating. No, I'm right up at the stadium. I'm right up at the venue. I'm a very big stadium brat or beer brat. Keep it simple. You know, hopefully I'm not cooking. I'll do it. I love cooking, but I'd rather have that
Sauerkraut
restaurant.
on your brat or not?
Well, I'm fat, so I can do one with sauerkraut, and I'll do one someone else ways,
I
and then I'll
I
probably
love
do a
that.
third, possibly even a fourth, man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
washing them down with multiple beers. Maybe give me a sauerkraut one. I want one with some mustard,
Oh yeah.
specifically some spicy brown mustard. When I'm right at the stadium, man, I just want it quick and simple. I don't want to put too much pressure on who's ever gate or whoever I'm tailgating with. Keep it simple on your end. Supply beer, or I'll bring my own beer. I ain't got no problem. If you're bringing food, keep it simple. Give me a brat. Feed me. And I ain't eating one. I ain't just eating two. I'm eating three. I'll eat them always, man.
Yup.
I can eat, 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 eat.
Yep.
I love food. I
Yeah.
love it. And there's no better time and a better, happier place for me than sports and food.
Hell yeah. Um, I love the wings. I'll piggyback off that. We got a local place. Um, and maybe I'll wait for the official sponsorship, but I love going there and eating their wings. Probably my favorite place in town, although I did try another place that was delicious as well recently. Bone-in wings, obviously. I'm looking at you. Look at this guy. Gage, what is Gage? Get
Boneless,
real.
man. Dude, I mean, it's just way easier.
So like I
Get
was
him out.
saying,
Get him
bone-in
out.
only, traditional. It's
No
the way to
point, dude.
be.
Nah, there's no point. Way less mess with the boneless, and you get more meat.
I definitely love the bone-in. What do you want the meat for? It's all about the outside, the sauce. It's got to have
Definitely
crispy
not. Okay,
outside.
well, that might be an argument, but it's definitely not about the bone. So
No, it's about the
you can just keep
sauce.
that. You can keep the bone.
I'm
I
not
don't
trying to
want. I
waste
don't
my
want to pay
time
for the bone.
with some white
Bring
meat
in the
chicken nuggets.
bone.
I
Bring
Paying
in
need
the
for
bone.
You're
That's
paying
where
for
you get your
food that you
flavor,
only.
dude.
You're paying for food that you only eat half of.
I'm literally paying for the sauce. I don't even care.
You need the flavor, dude. That's where the bones come
That's all I
from.
care about. The crispy outside, and then it's a glaze on it. The chicken nuggets get soggy when they put the sauce
Okay, well,
on.
there's a place called Wings and Rings. They do their boneless different. Okay,
Oh,
it's more
really?
like a grilled. Yeah, it's more like a grilled style, I think.
Okay.
But the
I'll
breading
give it a
isn't.
shot.
The breading isn't as wild. I don't know. Boneless is the way to go, guys. Don't listen to these fools.
Yeah. So nah.
Just for a little side note, two of us here are from North Dakota, so everything is drowned in ranch anyways, so what's it matter?
Yeah. So everybody loves
Well,
ranch
I
here
mean,
too. It's the whole
yeah, I
Midwest.
feel like that's a worldwide thing when it comes to wings.
Blue cheese some places, and they'll
Yeah, well,
probably
they're also wrong.
Do
yeah.
you guys like blue cheese?
No, not a
Not
fan.
generally.
Ranch.
No, okay. No,
I
I
tried
am
blue
blue.
cheese. I tried it recently, and it was fine. But
It's not bad, yeah, but I'm still going ranch 10 out of 10 times.
yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
I might
I
even
w-
do 11.
I would
don't
say
know.
99
Ranch it
out
up.
of 100 because I obviously tried blue cheese, and and the waitress was even like, "You want blue cheese?" Well, I knew the waitress and everything, and they're like, "You want blue cheese? Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know, I don't normally do this, but
Dude, you
because
know why
it
that's called blue cheese?
it came with the blue cheese because it's moldy,
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's called blue cheese.
it's
Nobody picks
fancy,
blue cheese.
it's
It's been
fancy
sitting in the
mold.
back and it's turned blue because it's so old. Go with
Well,
ranch.
I mean, do I have to drop some cheese facts on you here, Chance?
No, I don't.
Chance.
No,
Okay.
We
don't.
don't need to know this.
All cheese is moldy, bud. They just scrape it off.
Not
before they
American
sell it
craft
to you.
singles. That's plastic. So
You ever seen a cheese wheel come out like when they're aging them?
no, do
Yeah,
they
It's
just
just
cut
just
off?
like they show in the cheese. This looks just like they show in the Cheez-Its commercial. It's just got that red
Looks
bean on it, and
pretty
this looks
rough.
pristine. This looks pristine.
Pretty rough.
So
Hey, speaking of
definitely,
food, so I got
So
one.
yeah. We're not done with the
Uh,
food. You thought we were done with the food, Chance.
well, you haven't
dude,
even picked your favorite yet, Blake. What's your favorite?
My favorite, um,
Stumped him, man.
yeah.
Ooh.
I have
Caught
to
him
pick a
off guard.
favorite.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Oh yeah. Um, Well, I had some stuff, and then Chance had wings, and so I think that was my favorite for a little bit there. Sometimes, honestly, straight up, if I'm watching a game at home, like a Packer game, I moved out of my hometown, so I sometimes I just watch a game by myself. I'll go pick up Chinese food, bro, and from the
Okay.
buffet, and I'll get all the kinds of chicken I want, the noodles, everything I want. I just go get it all myself, all the portions, and they weigh it up. It's super cheap, and I just go to town on that. Crab rangoons, um, and it's a little bit unconventional, but I love doing that every now and then. But I think
Dig
brats,
it.
beer brats,
Brats?
are probably my favorite as of late, the last couple summers. So no love for the
Right on.
burgers yet.
And I love for the burgers. I mean,
For me, like, it's not that I don't love a burger. I just share my burgers for another special time.
Yeah, special.
special time.
How does
Burgers have
that?
a more
What is
special place in my heart.
I don't have any like romantic music queued up right now, but if
They're,
I
they're kind of
did,
like they're like my side chick. I don't take them to football games, man.
you're a very special sandwich to me.
Speaking of special sandwiches, what I wanted to get into
Yeah.
is, do you guys have maybe a specific food in a specific city related to sports uh, that you just want to try, or
Mm-mm.
yeah, I guess you're a big
That's a
Chinese guy, or Chinese
good
fan.
question.
Like New York Chinese. I don't know where the best Chinese is
I want to
in
go
America
to.
anyway. I don't know if I'll ever get out of America.
I want to go to Kansas City.
Oh,
Try
get some
some
barbecue
Barbecue?
before a game.
barbecue.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
And then
There's so many places.
maybe
I
you
wanna
catch
go
Andy
barbecue.
Reid, have a cheeseburger or 6 with Andy Reid.
Yeah,
She's sleeping.
take his recommendations. Who is that?
It's Grandma. You want to say
Grandma.
hi to Grandma? You want to come over and say hi? Gage is on here too. If you want to say hi.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi there. I like your guys' program.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, you're on it.
It's the best program ever.
I'm going back to bed. Good night.
Okay, good night, Grandma. God, we woke Grandma up with the show. Unbelievable.
Oh man.
All
This is
right,
the
I
be-
mean, my favorite is wings. You guys touched on it a couple times. Wings is like the go-to
You
for
don't even know wings.
yeah, whatever, man. We're
You
not
know
gonna go
chicken
down that
breast.
road
Your
again.
favorite is chicken breast.
Before we get personal, we won't go down that road again.
All right. Okay.
Hey, I do think that's a good one though. Like you said, like, go to Kansas City and get like some barbecue, before a game like that. Dude, that sounds
Gosh.
extremely dreamy to me.
Yeah.
Mine is gonna be catching a Philly, a real Philly in Philly.
Yeah, that's another
Well,
good one.
I'm a big Philly guy, man. Oh, I love Phillies. Getting a real Philly before a Philly Eagles game, where I get pelted by some fans because I'm not from Philly, or I'm wearing anything that's not the color green or not the right color green because they're really sour fans. But man, at least I could possibly enjoy that Philly.
Maybe some Chicago deep dish before you watch the Bears get dominated by the Packers or something.
I'd love to eat a lasagna pizza.
I don't know how I feel about the deep dish. I haven't tried
I've never
one.
had it. I've never had like.
We have an
authentic.
old Chicago, but I feel like is that even like,
I mean, it probably
authentic?
is.
I had old Chicago in Denver, and I was not impressed.
No, I've never been there.
Nah.
Haven't
I
been
mean,
there.
I feel like it was kind of weird that I ate at old Chicago in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like a chain. That's why it's like you don't know if
I
It
eat
is
at
a chain.
I,
It is a
I
chain.
eat at China Star in America.
Yeah.
Very valid point.
I love Chinese food here. Yeah, so I don't know if that's like, probably a lot of people would say, oh, that's not the real deal or whatever. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't had a deep dish pizza. I'm a little skeptical about it because, people are either hot or cold on the deep dish.
Yeah.
I'm definitely. I would do the Philly. I would do the Philly for sure. Um, but I don't know if it really is my. It would be my first pick. I love the barbecue pick.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City is a good one. They got a pretty spicy barbecue, I think. Texas would be a great place to get some barbecue too. Um, I didn't get enough opportunities down in South Carolina either to get some barbecue. So I'd love to be Guy Fieri. I try really hard, you guys, and I feel
Got to
like
get the pronunciation right first, then.
yeah, whatever. I'm just I would. He's someday somebody's gonna have to take over that show, and I'd
Might as
love to
well be
drive
best friend
around.
Blake.
Yeah, and eat food. Um, so
Coming from
think
the guy
about
who
it.
just bragged up eating weigh it by the pound Chinese food. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
$1 million palate.
Well, I have done that. I went to go get Chinese buffet on my channel. Best friend Blake. You can follow me too. Shameless right here. I don't care. I love y'all. Um, but I think I would definitely go with the barbecue too. I'm trying to think of something else. Maybe seafood somewhere, but that's not. I don't know. That's be weird
Maybe
game day food. But
some pizza in New
What about
York. New
New
York
York
pizza.
pizza.
or Buffalo, New York, getting some wings, getting slammed through a table, drinking some vodka or whatever those Buffalo Wild Bill fans do. I mean,
That would be
Bill's
good.
Mafia.
Can you,
Maybe seafood in like New Orleans or something. You might have just said that.
Or Boston, get some clam chowder.
I
Yeah, there you
remember
go.
in the Madden games, remember when you could be like a owner and they had like key lime pie at one of the stadiums. Oh, 04.
Madden 04, you used to pick your prices that you were selling your jerseys, your
Yes.
hats, your shirts. You were selling hot dogs. You could change them $4. They're charging $8 a hot dog. But that was
Oh
so
yeah,
cool.
I was charging like $17 a hot dog. Everything was outrageous.
Do we win in Super Bowls? You paying for this?
Oh yeah. You better eat before you come to the game.
So I would. So I want to do me driving around to every stadium and trying their specialty hometown food. Let's do it. What kind of vehicle should we be in?
Make it happen.
Let's.
Hey, ESPN. I feel like we got a show going on.
We
Here. It's ESPN. Put me on ESPN too. I
Somebody
don't care.
wants
We
to
drive
sponsor
around and
this.
we just test out the
Yeah.
foods,
Hit
man.
us up.
Somebody tweet this at ESPN.
Yeah.
I feel it's a great idea.
I
They
feel like
put
that's a
beanbag,
great
dude. They put cornhole on there. Like, I would rather see some. Cornhole's cool. I'll watch it because I watch everything sporting related. But I would love to see the foods of every game day city. Another shout out. I just want to throw a shout out to North Dakota State and NDSU Bison games that they throw down, they tailgate, and they put out food and they put out beer. College game day's been there a couple times. It's a party city, man. I think it's great. It's great. Well, for us here in North Dakota, I feel like we feel like the mini Green Bay,
Hey,
very
hey.
homegrown, local.
Green and yellow.
Don't let any
Green,
Vikings
yeah.
fans.
They don't count. I don't even know why those people exist anymore.
All right, so we talked it all. NBA, NFL, the young people in the NBA and the NFL, and food, and a little bit of
And
F1
grandmas.
sprinkled on top. Shout out to Grandma Donna, our special guest. We
2:30
appreciate you. Hey, showing out. Make sure, Gage, we do not have a 3-cam social, so I'll see you in a second. But hit us up on social. Please follow us. Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at TUN Sportscast on YouTube. We're the Up North Sportscast. And we're going to keep putting out great content for you like this. Give us a follow. that should do it for us. We will see y'all later. Have a good one.
Hey, can we change the catch you later from now on? And just let's get a party on.
Let's get a
We'll
party
end it.
going. Let's get a party going.
NWK. Yeah, we'll get right on the rights for that.